Welcome back to College Hill Farm. Well, I have to admit that this weeding is so much easier sitting here in a lounge chair and lawn chair in this bed. I'm just pulling out some of the weeds so that it'll be easier to see my sweet potato plants, which are starting to come up throughout the bed. It's May the 15th, and I still haven't planted anything in the lower garden. I've been sick now for a month. That's the way it is when you get old. The doctor's got no help for me, so I'm on this on my own, so I refuse to be sick anymore. If the good Lord wants me to be sick, He can put me down, okay? That's just the way I feel about it, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get out and work. If I can only work in little batches at a time, well, that'll happen. Now, I want to get out and plant my main garden this week, but that can't happen. Today is the only dry day out of, see that? That's what asparagus looks like, okay? It's a great big old fern. It's my asparagus bed over here. Anyway, I want to get out and do stuff, but I'll have to be metered in the way I do it. I'll have to do it as much as I can for as long as I can. To be honest, I'm kind of deconditioned and out of breath from being out of it for a month. So, yeah, that's what happens. But I refuse to be sick anymore. I don't care. I'm not going to do it. I refuse to take delivery. So, I'm out here in the bed starting off with them because I can do this. You can pull weeds anytime. Okay? In your garden, you can pull weeds anytime. But you can't hoe and stuff when the garden is wet. It turns your soil into concrete. So, let's take a look, and you can see what I've got coming up here in this bed. Of course, this is our sweet potato bed, and I'm not worried about getting all the weeds out of it. I could care less. The sweet potatoes will compete. I just want them to be able to get a little bit of sunshine and reach. Okay, sweet potatoes like heat, so I've got it all uncovered now so that the sweet potatoes can get some sun. Let me show you what we got. Okay, there were lots of weeds. That's a sweet potato. That's a sweet potato. That's a sweet potato. There's more and more. Okay? Those are little sweet potatoes. There's another one. And those are going to grow up all through this bed. See, here's another little one right there. So, those are going to grow up, and there's another little one. So, we'll wait, and one more. We'll wait and let these grow up and see how they do. I'll come back and do this probably a couple more times before June, and we should have sweet potatoes all in this bed, or sets all in the bed. Okay, here are my potatoes, or tomatoes. Let me get some of these weeds out of here. Oh! Where I put down the compost, the weeds have pretty much just grown at the margins. Here's the peppers. Get these out of here so that the peppers can get bigger. There's the peppers. This is poblanos right there. And sweet banana peppers right here. The tomatoes in the center right here are Romas. These right here are ox hearts. And there's a big old nasty weed. It's a thistle. Come out of there. These are ox hearts. Or these right here. Let's see. Are they? Yeah, ox hearts. And then mortgage lifters. Over here's the Kellogg's breakfast. And right over there, the big ones are the Cherokee purple. These are ready to get out into the main garden, so when it's time, I'll show you these too. Too many plants in that hill. Trim it down to 2. There's 2 back there, 1 over there. Alright. Now it's time for a little fertilizer. Okay, it's time to fertilize. This is the way I keep my fertilizer from year to year. It's about time to buy some. I buy it in 50-pound bags. Now it won't take a lot of fertilizer for these, and you don't want to leave it on the plant. So that's a plenty of fertilizer. Do the same thing over here. If you get it on the leaves of the plant, dust it off because it'll burn it. And that's, oh, I missed the center one. Okay, and that's it. That's the easiest weeding I've ever done. So, that's the heirloom black beauty, okay, zucchini. That is the only way to weed. Now, I want to thin these down. I'm going to take the 2 strongest plants. There we go. Throw those out. Oh, there's one right there. There, 2 strongest looking plants. That one's the same way. Now, Crystal and I, we use this yellow crookneck squash, but there's just so much of it at a time. So right now I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 plants. If each one of them yields us a squash a week, that's 10 squash a week. That's probably all we can eat, because we don't like to put it in the freezer because it just becomes squish. I don't like squash out of the freezer. We've tried frying it and putting it in the freezer. We've tried every way, and I haven't found nothing that I like. And it dehydrated, it sucks. Now let's fertilize it a little bit. Let's take that one out. There we go. That's it. In real time. That's how long it took me to tend that bed. I see the allure, but it won't fill my freezer. Just saying. Now, when I was raising basil out in the field, this is a little basil plant right here. These little bitty ones got the little spade heads. Okay. When I was raising those out in the field, I would have to get down on the ground on my hands and knees to tend them. Okay? I'm sitting here in a lounge chair, pulling weeds out of the basil. That is about as awesome as it gets. I won't have to have my tractor over here so I can get up off the ground, because I have a hard time getting up and down. Okay, I'll finish weeding this and show you how we fertilize basil and cucumbers. Basil does not need a lot of fertilizer. I'm just going to take that's it. Okay, just a little bit of fertilizer. Now, basil is a lot like a weed. Alright, the weedy characteristics of basil will make it outcompete the weeds if you keep the weeds pulled to start with. This is exactly why food forests don't work. Alright, exactly why food forests don't work. Let me explain. Now, you can have a forest with apple trees and blackberries and raspberries and all those things. But agriculture does not occur naturally. Alright? Let me say it again. Agriculture does not occur naturally. This basil, if I let the weeds grow up, cannot compete. Okay? It's that simple. It cannot compete. And if I left this in the bed and let it go to seed, when I came out next year, I might have one or two plants that came back up, but then the weeds would take them and they would not make it. All right, agriculture does not occur in nature. All right, it takes 7 square miles to feed yourself if you're just gathering stuff out of nature. 7 square miles. Okay, it is not something that's going to happen without direct input from humans. All right, let's get on down the row here, and I've got these carrots in this, or not carrots, but the little pickling cucumbers in this bed. I've weeded them already. I'm just going to throw some fertilizer on them, and then we'll move on. Cuckleburr. Watermelons are done. As old as those vine peach seeds were, I'm impressed. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 that have come up. Wow. I went back and looked at the invoice. They're 6 years old. Okie dokie. I think I'm going to move one. There we go. Put it right there. Yeah, I think I'll move another one. I think that, it broke its root, so be all right. There we go. And that's got my container garden done. Now, up through there, I've got 3 that I haven't planted. I'm going to hold those for squash. And I'll replant the squash because that's the way you beat squash vine borer, is do succession planting. So that's what I'll be doing with those. Okay, that's got my raised beds all taken care of for at least a week. Alright, so next week I can concentrate on the main garden. Now, right now, the main garden is a mud hole. I've still got to hill some potatoes. I'm going to try and do that by hand. How far I get, I don't know. But let me tell you something. Doctors can just get you so far. Alright? Go to your doctor. Do what he says. But the truth is, there comes a point when the doctor says, I really don't know what to do. I can't help you. Well, when you get there, it's time to grit up. This getting old ain't for wimps. So, grit the hell up and get on with it. I'm having a lot of fatigue problems, having a lot of other problems, but I've got to grit the hell up and get on with it. It's just where I'm at, and that's where it's going to be. And yeah, so part of my fatigue problems, I'm certain, is that I've been out of commission for a week, 4 weeks. I've been out of commission pretty much for 4 weeks. And I don't know whether I'm having an exacerbation of my multiple sclerosis or my ulcerative colitis, because yeah, I'll not go into what the symptoms are. They're nasty. Anyway, that's where I'm at. So my lab tests show that it's probably not my ulcerative colitis. So it's probably my MS, and there ain't a damn thing they can do about that. So yeah, grit up. It may be the new normal. So grit up. Don't be a big puss. Anyway, yeah. I don't know if I'll leave that part in. I might though. Now if you like this stuff, this homesteading, do-it-yourself kind of thing, be certain to come on out to the channel and subscribe. We do this homesteading stuff every week, sometimes 1, sometimes 5 videos. Just depends on what's going on in the homestead that week. Now if you hit the little bell, it'll be right up here when you come to the channel. It'll notify you when we upload a video. We upload on Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. Now, it's time for me to wipe all the mud off the camera and get on to the next thing.